Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a lovely week and weekend, depending on where you're coming from or when you're watching this. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being part of this journey. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here and subscribe to my channel, like the video. If we're gonna be talking about importance of working on your mental health and basically what mental health is in general. So stay tuned and remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell also in case to get notifications when I post something new. Yeah, so let's get into it. So I'll be looking down at my book where I wrote my notes. Just what we're all asking ourselves is, what is mental health? What is this big thing we keep on hearing everyone saying? Mental health this, mental health, take care of your mental health. So yeah, mental health is basically your psychological, your emotional and social well-being. Simple. Yeah. But as much as it sounds simple, it's not that simple to basically work on your mental health. What working on your mental health means, it can be different things. And what most of us confuse working on our mental health and working on our mental illnesses. Those are two very different but important things. For instance, when you work on your mental health, this is, for instance, when you read books so that you can enlighten your mind. For instance, if you read books on how to become more socially aware, to become more social. For instance, there's a book called How to Make Friends and Influence People. That's one way you can work on your mental health. The other way of working on your mental health is by constantly exercising, because exercise is part of the body that also helps you work on your mental health. Eating right, um, avoiding things that trigger you, like bad relationships, avoiding situations where you're no longer welcome, or basically going to your friends so that you can have like companionship and friendship. So working on your emotions. Yeah, so basically that's some of the things that people do when they're working on their mental health. But you see, there's a slight difference between working on your mental health and working on your mental illnesses. Mental illnesses are such as depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, that also require work. So in this case, people work on it differently. Yeah. In as much as everyone should work on their mental health, this is for everyone. But there's specific people who are required to work on their mental illnesses. And there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, it's like when there is a puppy and the mother to the dog. When you have a puppy, you slightly take care of the puppy more than you take care of the big dog. Yeah. So people with mental illnesses are just people who, yeah, they're growing and they require to be nurtured with care, and they need to take care of the mental health and the mental illnesses in such ways that, for instance, through psychotherapy and also through medication. These are like antidepressants and many other, I can't list them, there's so many. There are drugs for anxiety and all that. So working on your mental health is mandatory and it's important. And also working on your mental illnesses are important. But if you combine these two, this makes mental your mental health great. And it's a constant journey. I usually tell people, even my clients who come for therapy, I usually tell them that you work on yourself each and every time. it's like self-awareness. You can't know everything about you. You wake up one day and you realize, oh, I really hate this, and the next day you realize, oh, I really love this. Because self-awareness is something that you constantly work on, and the same thing with mental health. Yeah, so there's a mental health. You can have poor mental health and good mental health. So what are some of the importance of working on your mental health? um Before I go forward, I want to read a scripture, and it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous hand." So, I'm a Christian, and I'm a born again Christian, and I will constantly speak about God in my YouTube channel. I'm not forcing it on anyone, but it's something I believe in, so I will constantly speak about it. So basically, what this scripture is telling us is to fear not, because God is with us, and do not be discouraged, and because God will strengthen you. Yeah, and he will help you, and he will uphold you, yeah, with his righteous hand. So the reason as to why I read and chose that specific scripture is because when we think about working on our mental health and ourselves and even fitness, we always think about it like something big and something hard, and we rarely, we most of the time we run away from it, or we say we will but we don't. We procrastinate because of the fear that we might not be able to, or because of you know the challenges, and it's something that people don't really want to talk about. So I started with that verse to tell you that working on your mental health, in order to gain a good mental health, and also on your mental illnesses, is important. And do not be afraid of working on your mental health, because God will uphold you, because God tells you to fear not. Yeah, he has your back. So yeah, let's get into the important. But number one thing I want to mention is, I want to tell you of a situation, yeah, of where, for instance, the when a doctor pronounces a person dead, rather brain dead, yeah. When someone is told that the loved ones, I'm sorry if this triggers you, if someone is told that the loved one has passed on because they're brain dead, most of the time the cases go like, this person will not be dead for maybe 8 to 12 hours, but they're pronounced legally dead because their brain has switched off, or rather the brain has gone off. Yeah, the brain has died, so their body will be alive for 8 to 12 hours. Yeah, and like, how when for those who are vegans, I'm also really sorry, I'm gonna mention this, but like, have you seen when a chicken has been slaughtered and no chickens were slaughtered and there was no animal cruelty? I'm just mentioning, and this is not even funny, but yeah, it's the most thing I can relate to, is when hens are slaughtered or their heads have been cut off, they walk headless for a few minutes, and that's the same thing with being brain dead. Yeah, so the reason as to why these people pronounce this person dead, even if they will be dead in like 8 to 12 hours, is because the body cannot function without the brain. Because your brain is what sends signals through the neurons and all that. I don't want to get into the science. But your body cannot function because your head sends the signals to your body parts that it needs to function with. So they automatically pronounce the person as dead, even though they will be dead in 8 to 12 hours. Yeah. So the reason as to why I'm talking about this is because the mind is mostly mental health is mind, brain. Yeah. So if you walk around without working on your mental health, yeah, it's like having your powerhouse shut down, because the mental health is the powerhouse. Your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your perceptions, even your personality is derived from your mind and your head. So if you don't work on your head, or rather head or mental health, whichever you'd like to term it as, you're literally walking around like a person who is brain dead. Yeah. Your body might function for a while, but it will not function to the capability that it's supposed to do. So, for instance, if you don't work on your mental health, you'll be stressed. You lack better ways of coping with issues, and you lack like even the peace to function. Yeah, your emotions will be all over, and basically, it's just what I've just explained. If your mental health is unstable, then everything else will be unstable. And there's this book. It's called The Ripple Effect. I do not know by who, I can't remember, but I will link it in the description box. And it's called The Ripple Effect. And it basically says when you start working on certain things, it creates a ripple effect. So have you ever realized that when you start sleeping early, which I don't, by the way, I really try to sleep early, but I can never sleep early. Oh, but yeah, it's something I'm working on. So it's a book that basically explain on how one good habit creates a ripple effect in your life that eventually causes you to do other good habits. Yeah, like if you start working out, eventually you're gonna find yourself eating healthy, and maybe you're gonna find yourself like having clearer mind and all that. So that is why it is very important to work on your mental health. Number two, mental health affects every sector of your life. So, for instance, I mentioned that mental health is the emotional, social, and psychological well being. So, your emotions, your social life, your mind, how you think, is affected by your mental health. That's why I'm saying it affects every sector. So, your mental health affects emotional, how you feel, how you act, how you think, the things you say, how you relate to other people. So it affects every sector of your life. So it is something that you have to really, really work on, because if you don't, you find that some of the sectors in your life are unstable. And I know that there are life challenges and there are things that just happen that is out of our control. But beyond that, there are the things that happen to us because of maybe the conscious or unconscious or subconscious decisions that we make. So yeah, it affects every sector of our life. Number three, I read this book. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and I'll be mentioning a lot of books. I'll write it below, and maybe I can send it to you. I'll give you an email, and then you email me, and then I'll send it to you. So the book usually talks about the power of habits and what makes us do what we do, and how to get out of it, and how habits are formed. So you see, they give a story. You'll read it. They give a story of this lady who basically everything in her life was collapsing. They talk about the biggest names that you know now. Let's see, the ones that I see. I can't remember, but anyway, When I kept on reading that book, they kept on talking about how habits are mostly from our minds. Yeah. So if our habits are created in our mind, they are talking about how certain things, or rather the brain, automates certain behaviors in our lives. Like they give an instance of where when you're reversing a car, yeah? I don't know how to drive, but anyway, when you're reversing a car, you automatically reverse. You don't even think about it. Or the way when, I hope you do this by the way, or when how automatically it is for you to just get up and check your phone. Not that that's not what I hope you do. I hope you that I had another example. They said how automatic it is for you to wake up and brush your teeth. But I know most of us don't. But the first thing we do when we wake up is check our phones and scroll on Instagram and see what WhatsApp messages we have, or go on Twitter. You know, but that's so automatic. Like you barely have to think about it, and that comes from our brain, yeah, from our mental health, yeah. And they're just talking about how you can, when you create strong mental patterns, then you can actually automate reading, automate working out, because your mind has perceived that, okay, this is something we're gonna do on a daily basis, and I need to automate this so that it's easier, because the brain has this need to make it work easier. So it can't, if it needed to remember everything a step at a step, it would crash. So the best thing it can do is automate certain things, like how you brush your teeth. You barely think when you're brushing your teeth, or how you just go to pee in the morning, like when you wake up. This is a very bad example, but yeah, very little things, yeah, those things. That think of something that you do automatically in the morning or in the evening before you go to bed, yeah. For some people, it is automatic for them to wake up and start praying, yeah. And this reminds me of a very funny story. I remember when I was in primary school, for those people who are not from Africa or from around here, that was around grade 6, I think. So I remember when I was woken up to prepare for school, the first thing I would do is do this. I would be like, God, thank you for this and this and this and this and this. I'll be like, they wake me up and I'm like, I'm praying, and then they'll be like, I'm like, and then I pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray, because, and it was something that was so automatic, and it was something I did. God forgive me, but it was something I did not because I was praying, but because I was just buying more time to go to sleep. So by the time they'd leave and they'd be like, okay, let her pray, I'd go back to sleep. But anyway, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not a good habit. So yeah. So because that's why you should work on your mental health, yeah? Because habits are formed in your mind. So if you work on your mental health, you're able to create better habits and even automate them. Wouldn't it be nice to just wake up and the first thing you do, is pray, is you get up and work out, like it's second nature to you, because your mind is capable of creating such patterns. You just have to work towards them. So that's another reason why you should work on your mental health. So guys, the fifth point is that, and I like this because Steve Harvey says it a lot, and Albert Einstein, my favorite quote, he says that imagination is life's preview. It's a preview of life's coming attractions, yeah? So guess what? Another thing, imaginations originate from your mind. Yeah? They come from your mind. Yeah? And also your vision and your purpose comes from your mind. And I think it's a verse in the Bible. It says that my people, okay, there's that knowledge, and then there is there was the other one about vision. I don't remember how it goes, but I will write it here so that you know what it says. But vision and purpose and imagination is very, very important. So if you don't work on your mental health, you're not able to get clarity in your vision and in your purpose. Yeah. Because working on your mental health means reading, enlightening yourself, going to places that grows your mind, going to or interacting with people that help you grow as an individual. And networking is very important because there's certain things in this life that money can get you. Okay, money gets you networks, but yeah. But like not enough. Like your networks get you opportunities and all that. So it is important to network. So vision is important, yeah, and imagination is important. But if you don't work on your mind, if you don't consume content that sharpen your mind, that enlighten you, then you're gonna be stuck. You're always gonna feel like I'm stuck. But you're not feeding your mind. If you feed your mind grows, and then when your mind grows, you get clarity. Yeah, and clarity doesn't always come at once, but if you feed your mind, and the more you work on your mental health, you get one step. You take a step up the stairs, up the stairs, up the stairs. Yeah. So that is why it is important to work on your mental health. Um, Another thing I want to speak on is a verse in the Bible. It's in Romans 12:2. And it says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind." Listen, let me repeat that again, yeah, because it's powerful. It says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed." Transformed, underlined, by the renewal of your mind. Yeah, and I think we've established that the mind is the source of everything. Basically, we have our heart that gives us maybe emotions and all that, but there's this thing about perceptions. And where do you think perceptions come from? They come from our thoughts, the things we've seen, and all that comes from here. So that's where your emotions and perceptions, all the things are because you've thought about them, and those are from your mind. So it says, "Be transformed by the renewal of your mind." Yeah. And this just goes out to say that you have to work on your mental health. Because working on your mental health, your mind, that is where transformation comes from. Yeah. Working on your mental health renews your mind. And through the renewal of your mind, you are able to transform. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm going to repeat that again because I feel like that is so powerful. Yeah. By working on your mental health, yeah, your mind is renewed. Yeah. And from the renewal of your mind, you are transformed. Huh? But it also says the most important thing there: do not be conformed to this world. For me, in regards to mental health, that meant one thing, yeah? Do not let life just pass you by. Do not just do things because people are doing it. Do not just, live your life based on whatever is happening in the world. I used to be that person who lived my life, or I just wake up and what happens that day is what I do. Yeah, I wasn't intentional. I wasn't aware. I was just doing things because that's what the day brought. That's what was happening. I was those people who my friends called me, and I'm not calling anyone out, and I'm not judging you. Yeah, by all means, you are a being, and you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. Yeah. So all I'm saying is that you should be intentional about change. All I'm saying is that you have to make a decision that you want to work on your mental health. Yeah. And the more you work on your mental health, the more things that you become aware of that you weren't. Yeah. My brother one day asked me that, are there days in my life that I totally do not remember what happened? Or maybe if I do, I feel like things are blurry. So, and that really hit me that and then I was like, yeah. And I asked him, like, do you feel the same way? I was like, no. Because I used to spend most of my time in my earphones. Yeah, I have zero interactions with people. And if I do, it's like during meal times or the time we are about to pray before we go to bed. So I was not aware. And I came to think about it later, and I realized that it was not only then the time that only that, like, it didn't only apply to just my day, it applied to my whole life, where I would just wake up, go to school, do a routine that I wasn't on. Like, I don't know which motivational speaker usually talks about this, but he says that if you do not plan your life, you will live your life based on someone else's plans. And that's very sad. That's really, really, really sad and debilitating, yeah? Because the other time I didn't decide, yeah? So I will live my life based on, okay, my friends want to go out, let's go out. My friends want to go eat, let's go eat. We are having a class today, let's go to class, let's do this, the lecturer said let's do assignments, and then I haven't done it, but my classmates want to do it, let's do it. So, or at work, those people who are working, you just come to work because you work, supposed to come to work, you do the work because you're supposed to do the work, and then you come back home, you're tired, you sleep, you eat, you wake up, repeat. Yeah, see how that was rhyming. Anyway, so be not conformed by the things of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. So thank you guys for watching. Basically, this marks the beginning of a new journey for all of us, for me and for you. And in this channel, this is basically what we're gonna do. We're gonna work on your mental health, yeah, in regards to your emotional, social, and psychological well-being. So yeah, and I'll constantly talk about God because He is the center of anything. He's our creator and He made our mind. Yeah. So there's a verse in the Bible that says you can have the mind of Christ. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, and thank you for coming this far. If you haven't subscribed, and press on the notification bell so that you can be alerted when we're working on our mental health. I post videos twice or thrice a week. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and God bless you. Take care of yourself. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.